So, Brendan, as we mentioned, after the two ACL injuries, after everything that you had to go through, the work that you put in, and then came a period of unprecedented joy and success in football where I think the entire country finally got to see the Brendan uh, that we all knew was in there. And we got to see it over a period of time with no disruptions, right? 2018, we saw the best of you winning the Malaysia Cup. 2019, we saw the best of you in the national team in some of the most iconic games at the Bukit Jalil Stadium. I will never forget those nights. I would never forget those nights. But then came 2020, where there was, COVID-19 and all that kind of stuff. And eventually came another setback in 2021 when you were diagnosed with cancer. And I still remember this, Brendan. I still remember being told by my boss that, have you heard that Brendan has been diagnosed with cancer? And the first thing that hit my head is like, not again. Like,
Come on, like
how
come
much
on.
more setbacks does this guy need in his career? I mean, make no mistakes. Literally about 30 seconds later, in my head, I'm already like, but then again, if there's one guy out there who I can completely trust in being able to battle out of situations like
It
this,
is
it is
Brendan.
probably Brendan Gunn, But still, there was that feeling like it can't be him again. So, like, what was it like for you? Having had some of the best periods in your life, um, finding out whatever that you just found out at that point.
Yeah, that was. I thought the ACL injury was the toughest time of my life, but finding out that I had cancer, that was something. That was something else, and it wasn't so much the finding out part. I think I was okay with that side of it. I had a really good friend next to me, Darren Locke, actually, and he helped me through the first initial period of it because my wife and my child had actually gone back to Australia at that time, and I was by myself. So it was more the fact of how do I tell people. I wasn't so upset in terms of finding out I had cancer. Obviously, I was disappointed, and I obviously knew something was there. That's the reason probably why I went for the general checkup. But it was more the how do I tell my family and how do I tell my mother and father and my sisters, and that was a lot of tears were shed throughout those
Of course, yeah.
those messages, and that was all done over FaceTime. So it's one of those things, when you start a FaceTime conversation, it's always, hey guys, how are you doing? Small talk, blah, blah, blah. When do you tell them that you've been diagnosed with cancer, So,
And then you get the look.
yeah. And then, that was one of the toughest times of my life, to tell the people I love. But, the great thing about it is that there's so much support when you do tell people. There's so many people out there that show their love and show their affection towards you and how much you mean to them, and that really spurs you on to really get through this particular period. But yeah, that was honestly to find out was yeah, I hate reliving these memories, but it's it's definitely tough to find out that you are suffering from such an illness.
I mean, I can't even imagine how rough that must have been. But knowing the fighter that you are, how long did it take you for you to tell yourself, okay, look, this is another setback that we've got to deal with, and we've dealt with them before, and this is what we've got to do to now overcome them? How long did it take you before you could realign your thoughts and almost be, I mean, obviously the journey is filled with emotions, but there will be a point in time when you start to be logical about those things. How long did it take you to do that?
I don't know whether I looked at this cancer as something that I needed to overcome, because it was the fact that I wanted my family to be comfortable. So I guess for me, I kind of thought to myself, just do it, just get through it. It's not going to be that difficult. I've said to myself, it's not going to be that difficult every day. But again, I didn't have a chance to really think about it because I was in surgery the following day when I found out about it. It was that aggressive that I had to be in surgery and
Right away.
straight away. And that was one of the things that I guess I was still in shock. I'd got through the surgery and then I had to wait for my surgery and then straight into chemotherapy. So my wife and my child and family obviously were in Australia at that time, and I didn't want them to worry. So for me, it was just a matter of getting up and facing it head on. And I think I did that really well. There were moments where, you know, I was in my apartment and break down and, you know, cried for hours. But at the same time, when it came to the time where I had to get up and do the work, I just got up and I got on with it. And I knew that was the only way that I knew how to get through challenges, is just to get up and do it. And yeah, it was tough to go through the chemo, especially alone. But you know, obviously I had my wife with me every day. She was on FaceTime with me for basically, you know, the whole time that I was in chemo. But yeah, it was difficult to be in a chemotherapy treatment through COVID as well. Through
Can
COVID
imagine,
was really tough. You know, I had a great nurse. She was basically, you know, my on-hand support at the time. So she
Your
was really,
PA
really
almost.
good. Exactly, yeah. So she was amazing, and I couldn't have contact with anyone for a long time. My immune system had dropped, and you know, I had to stay at home and have no contact with anyone really. So yeah, it was definitely tough, but it was one of those things that again, it just came to, there's work to be done, and the only way to get through it is to do the work, and there's no other option. So that was how I did.
Maybe one of the last questions, Brandon. You mentioned about support. You know, apart from the family support that you receive, support from your friends, maybe fellow players, fellow pros. Uh, the support that Selangor has given you was pretty classy too. Uh, Being an athlete in Malaysia, I guess you know that not every organization, sport organization in Malaysia, is that professional. Is that you know, aware of the players' need. Is that caring towards? Yeah, you know. So, I mean, what do you think about it? Being in Malaysia, where you know we have problems here and there, and getting an employers that really care about you. How does it feel?
I think it's been an amazing thing, not for me, but for my family as well, to seek comfort in someone being there to support me. You know, particular people within the Selangor organisation have been, you know, world class and really helped me out. And you know, it's one of those things where you don't expect it, but you expect it in a way.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I think
can
that's
understand
like people in any organisation, as you would mention, you know, there's almost that expectation, but it doesn't happen, right? So for me, I was very open and honest with Selangor when I found out. I had a pretty heavy conversation with the management and also the coaching staff on the same day that I found out. And they were behind me 100% of the way, and you know, it's hard to. I said this in an interview before. It's hard to know what to do for someone going through something like this. Do you do a big gesture? Do you do multiple small gestures? Like what do you do? It's almost
Even
you know,
as
you're
simple as
gobsmacked.
what text message do you send?
Exactly, and that's such a hard thing to do. And I guess I wasn't expecting any big gestures. I wasn't expecting them to do anything for me, but it was more just the fact, the words, we're with you, you know, we're here. If you need anything, you know, please let us know, and we can help you out, whatever you need. Again, I'm a very individual person, and I thought to myself, I don't need anyone, you know, I don't need anything. I don't need, you know, I'll do this myself, and I'll get through it. But just knowing that you have those people there backing you and having that support is something that you really rely on when you're going through those hard times.
one of the things that we touched on a little bit off the camera, Brendan, was on the topic of taboo for males out there when it comes to health concerns, especially anything relating to, for example, in your case, it was testicular cancer. These are taboo topics for males out there. But you were telling us that upon your diagnosis, one of the things that you also did was to cultivate a culture of these conversations happening more frequently, happening in an environment of comfort rather than hesitance, even amongst your own peers, your own friends altogether. And could you tell us a little bit about how that has worked out for you?
Yeah, I wanted to come out straight away and be sort of a. I didn't want to make it all about me. I wanted to make it about there's a message out there that men need to really take care of themselves. And I think that's one thing that men all around the world don't do. They don't take care of themselves. They say, I have this feeling, it'll be okay, no problems. We'll move on and everything will be okay. But to create the conversation and to create the awareness of just having that checkup, just going for general checkups every year is something that I wanted to really push forward and not necessarily just for cancer and whatnot. Obviously cancer is a big part of it, but it was just the fact of actually, getting people out there to, be aware of their bodies, be aware of their health and just get their simple checkups. Their blood works can show a whole range of issues that can be wrong. So as simple as that, if there can be any message from what I've gone through, is to really just go out there and take care of your health, not for yourself, but for the people around you, for the support system, for your families, for the people that really care about you, because that's really what matters in the end. Football's going to be there forever. There's going to be a lot of generations that play football, but for you to have experiences with your families continually for your life,
It is uniquely for you, yeah.
is something that really came to me and was the forefront of what I wanted to be able to bring from my situation. And hopefully I'm not known for all my setbacks and 2 ACLs and cancer and whatnot. Hopefully I'm more known as Brendan Gann the footballer rather than my setbacks.
I'll end this by saying, Brendan, that I know you feel that way, that you would rather have people remember you for Brendan Gunn, the footballer. But trust me when I say this, Brendan, as a fan, there is so much value in us knowing the Brendan Gunn who overcame these setbacks as much as Brendan Gunn, the footballer. Because ultimately, these setbacks are the ones that are a lot more relatable to our day-to-day lives, and to see you as an individual overcoming each and every single one of these setbacks with such a positive mind, with such incredible amounts of grit and determination within you, those are the kinds of messages that gets through to the regular folks like us out there. So from my point of view and from Faiz's point of view, we just want to thank you so much, Brendan, for taking the time to have this chat with us. And I mean, honestly, we just can't wait to see you get back on the pitch soon, and hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. And in the meantime, hopefully also that our national team tonight can do us proud at the
It's
Bukit
getting
Jalil
quiet
Stadium.
on the field without our elder statesman.
Yes,
So
it's
we
getting quiet
hope
on the
we-
field without
yeah,
our
yeah.
elder statesman shouting around instructions. We can't wait. Thank you so much, Brendan.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.